Hey, what's up, everybody? Don here, freshly in the airport Hilton over at Logan Airport, getting ready to fly down to Florida tomorrow, but wanted to give you some takeaways from the Jersey Jack seminar that just happened at Pintastic. We got some more information about Harry Potter. The collector's edition, it's going to have everything. The arcade edition, the cheap one, no Invisiglass, no art blades, no rad cals. It'll have decals instead, no shaker motor. They took all that out. We know the playfield's going to be the same. We didn't get any other insight other than that. They want to do an arcade edition because of the need for operators to have Jersey Jack games, because there's still locations that don't have Jersey Jack pinball machines. So that was the impetus for that, for Jack. I asked Jack some questions. Why don't you drop the CE right now, or drop Harry Potter right now? Capture the money in the market. Basically, he said they move at their own pace. There's no deadline he's never missed. There's no budget he's never overrun. He's on their own time schedule. They want to make sure that games are kind of in the hands of distributors. Now, they didn't quite do that with Avatar, but that he said he never meets deadlines, so they're not ready to release it yet. But he said, in the next few weeks, you'll see it. So I'm thinking, maybe by the end of the month or maybe the first week of May. We should be seeing it soon. He wants to get media people in there to see it. I told him, like, Jack, hey, Don here, which is cool. He knew who I was. I was like, I'm in Chicago all the time. I'd love to come by and play the game. And he's like, we're going to have media in there, Don, don't worry. So I'll keep emailing Ken, my contact over there at Jersey Jack, see what I can get in there to see and play the game. As for the game itself, he did say that Eric Mineur is a designer. We know that. He says it's his fastest playing game. And so he's done Pirates of the Caribbean, Godfather, and Guns N' Roses. Neither of which is a very fast playing game, with maybe Godfather just because there's a lot of kind of straight down the middle drains from the ramps if you don't hit them. But I don't think anybody could call Guns N' Roses a fast playing game. I don't think Pirates of the Caribbean, you're just exploring all over that wide body, so that's not fast. So Godfather would be the fastest one I could think of, because there are some combo shots and stuff. But apparently it's his faster game, so it's more on the Godfather side of things than Guns N' Roses, which is good. We'll see. I don't think we got really much else out of him, other than you could tell when he was picturing the CE, he was like, this is the most beautiful game like we've made. So I'm thinking Topper's going to be legit. The art's going to be cool. They have Teal. Wait, what's the guy's name that did the good music for Pulp Fiction? Roger Teal, something like that. Thiel, right? It's who I'm talking about. So he's on the music. They told me who was on like Rules and Code, I think, and who was on art, but it escaped me. It's on the Twitch stream if you want to watch that all back. Otherwise, what else did Jack kind of went through and did a recap of the whole history of Jersey Jack, which was fun to listen to, honestly. Jack looked like he was full of spunk and vigor. I didn't see any issues with him like stumbling over things or seeming forgetful. He was on point. He was recounting the entire history, kind of in better form than I've seen in some of his other appearances. Even at TPF, he seemed a little bit more sedate. Here, he was, standing at the podium, engaging with everybody, joking with Steve Ritchie next to him, ribbing everyone. Like, his personality was totally there. So, yeah, Jack's a cool guy. He bought pizza and donuts for everybody and some cannolis. Man, it was crazy being up here in the Northeast, because these aren't people I see at normal pinball shows that I go to, because I don't come up here. So I'm meeting a whole new group of people. A lot of cool people from the Patreon. Shout out to Mike Focus. What a cool dude. LIPS, Long Island Pinball Society. I think it's what it stands for. We got food a couple of times. Salt of the earth, super cool guy. And just like a different vibe of people up here than you see, in the Midwest, in the Southeast, out West. Like, it was cool. Just like different accents, different takes on things. The political discussions were absolutely a different flavor. It was interesting. It was interesting coming up here. So just wanted to share some takeaways. We know the prices of the games, Harry Potter and all that stuff. Also, Mark Seiden was there. Got to talk to him a bit about Avatar and some of the little issues and tweaks I've had to make, and I got some more of the backstory for that. Nothing really major. We talked about some other ideas for sculpts that didn't quite make it, didn't quite work out. So, if you can think of something that should have been in the game, there was a thought to get it in there, but it wasn't working for this reason or that reason. I hung out with a multimorphic guy, super cool dude. He did the coding, I think, for the game. And so, we joked around. We got a good understanding. I don't know if me and Jerry will ever be buddies, but from what I hear from people, that's not like a revolutionary revelation, right? The guy's very much kind of Howard Hughesing it. And I also got to meet the artist from Avatar. That was cool. The lady that did the art. Her name escapes me because it's late and I'm tired. So did we get any of the juicy bits of Jersey Jack's new game? We're going to be seeing it soon. They're not even worried about Kong and everything else. They did give Spooky a shout out. They're like, we know there's other companies have entered the water, Spooky and Kooky and whatever is what he said. Super funny. But gave Spooky a shout out there. A lot of ribbing on Stern, which was good, but like those guys have a good history and they know each other and stuff. So that was fun. They're excited about the game and should be coming out sometime soon. And I kind of think the CE is going to be the way to go on this. There will be one available for everybody. I did have him confirm that there will be a time period. He didn't say exactly how long, but it could be a matter of days to a matter of months. But once that window closes on the CE order period, it will not open again. And so everybody that wants a CE can talk to a distributor, get on a list, get an order in and get one. So they're not going to be hard to get, but they're only going to be available in that time limit. Once the time limit's closed, no more will be made. Now distributors can go ahead and purchase 10 extra, 20 extra, more than orders that they have, just so they have some numbers in stock, that they can then sell. So in the near term, maybe even in the first year, demand for them will be met. There won't be any selling really for more money than they're worth. And I think that's a good thing. Nobody's going to be buying or putting down a deposit on a Harry Potter CE thinking that they're going to flip that deposit for, $5,000 in the next month once the sales close. Because everybody that'll have wanted one would have had ample time to get one. What that's going to mean is the only people buying are people that really want the game to keep it. And then, in the next year, I think those people will still be holding on to their game. So there might not be a whole glut of them out there. And that may paradoxically allow that value to maintain on the market. So that's cool. Kind of like a game that doesn't sell very well and then is out of production and then becomes worth more later because it's just you can't get it. And since there wasn't like a huge demand at first, they weren't made anymore, let's say. What this means for Jersey Jack is they'll be able to not leave any sales on the table at the time of launch. The other thing, though, with the Arcade Edition not having anything removed from the playfield, you'll be able to buy an Arcade Edition and then grab some custom cut armor, get it powder coated, throw Invisiglass on it, a shaker motor, art blades, and if you're willing to put in a little bit of work or hire someone like Don to do it for you, you're going to get a machine that looks as good, at least, as the LE version, and may even approach what the CE looks like once we finally get there. I did hear that it'll just be a plain black wrinkle powder coat on the Arcade Edition, just very plain Jane. So it'll be easily upgradable. If you want to get in on Harry Potter, you want the gameplay, you like the theme, you don't have $15,000 and the thought of spending that much for a pinball machine makes you vomit. There's a $10,000 version, which is head to head with a Stern Premium. And with a little bit of work, like $500. Invisiglass, $700. You can have it Cadillac'd out and it'll be looking like just as good as probably the LE. Pick up an aftermarket topper. I'll probably whip one up. And you can have like a really good gameplay experience and save yourself like $4,300. The only sucker bet would probably be the LE. There'll be 5,000 of those. He did confirm that. And that's the one that, is probably going to drop the most in value, to be honest. To the point that, an LE will probably sell around the price of a new Arcade Edition. Arcade Editions will probably resell for $8,000, maybe $7,500 if they make like 10 bajillion of them. But those will both lose value. The CE, I think, will hold on to some just because it's going to have that built-in exclusivity. That's what I have for tonight. How are you doing? I'm doing awesome. I have a flight in 6 hours down to sunny Florida, and then we're going to be in Dawn of the Magic mode. I'm going to change my t-shirt. I got a Dawn of the Magic shirt. I can't wait to wear that. And then I'll be doing live streams at the theme parks. So follow that YouTube channel if you're not already. Subscribe to it. Dawn of the Magic is what it's called. That's me. I'll be doing live streams from the park. So excited about that. It's going to be amazing. All right, so let me get this up, and later. Good night.